never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement.
Welcome to today's topic. Today's topic is applications of plant cell culture. The first one is micropropagation. See, micropropagation, the word meaning a small portion is taken and we propagate a plant through that small portion. We take explant and grow that in a medium in the growth chamber. Then next is we induce shooting, then we induce rooting, then at the end hardening. If I take explant a small portion of the plant and grow in the laboratory, I can generate as many as cells from that. Each cell is having totipotency, so I can generate huge number of plants by taking that small portion of the plant. This is known as micropropagation. This will help us to get clones. Clones in the sense genetically identical population we can grow from this. See here, this picture tells you about micropropagation. We have taken an explant and from the explant we generate callus. These callus, each cell is undifferentiated. From each cell we can generate an individual. So by shooting and rooting we take out plant and the process at the end is known as hardening. Why this is important? Because we start from a small cell and we can generate many plantlets. So economically this is very cheap, as well as we'll get exactly the identicals using micropropagation. The steps are: first step is initiation of culture. Initiation of culture means you take explant and surface sterilize them, then you keep them on a sterilized medium and transferring them to the growth chamber. All these together makes initiation of culture. Then by cytokinin you can induce shoot, and by auxin you can induce root. At the end acclimatization, transplantation, these are the steps of micropropagation. Next application is virus free plants. See here, if a plant is infected with virus, from that infected plant we can create virus free plant. Virus free plants matlab from the infected plant we can create many copies of plants which does not contain any virus on that. Virus free plant doesn't mean that they are virus resistant. Virus resistant is different concept. In virus resistant the virus cannot act, okay, but virus free plants doesn't mean that virus resistant plant. Virus free plants are those plants which are created from or produced from infected virus infected plant through plant tissue culture. You know meristem. Meristem is the tissue where virus leastly preferred, because meristem are actively growing, actively dividing, okay, and very active. The virus does not prefer meristem for the growth. So from a virus infected plant you can take out a meristem from the virus infected plant, and if you culture that meristem to generate huge number of plantlets, then those plants are actually virus free. Let us see this figure. This is an infected plant. So infected plants, leaves, all these parts are generally infected. If you take out the tip, tip contain apical meristem, you all know. So if you take a part of the plant which is having meristem, meristematic tissues are kept on the medium and allowed to generate callus, and from the callus you can generate as many as plantlets using plant tissue culture. They all are virus free plants. Artificial seed or synthetic seed. Actually we can say that this can be utilized for rapid and mass propagation of plant species. You know, generally seeds are formed after fertilization. We can generate artificial seeds in the laboratory, and that seeds can be used as normal seeds. Okay, it is at par with normal seeds and can be utilized to grow and disperse these plants. Let us see how they are produced. They are produced by encapsulating somatic embryos. You know somatic embryos. We can encapsulate somatic embryo in calcium alginate. Even you can use without encapsulation. But without encapsulation, the problem is you cannot store them. You have to use then and there. In any seed, they have three important parts. There is a hard covering seed coat, and inside the seed coat you can see the endosperm. Endosperm is the food for embryo, and you see a baby plant inside. This is general structure of a seed. Our calcium alginate coated artificial seed is also like seeds. You can see a figure here. This part is calcium alginate, and you can see a growing embryo here. This is not actually we can say it as a baby plant. It is growing now. And in this there is an artificial endosperm. Artificial endosperm is nothing but the medium. See here, this is a sodium alginate solution which is dropped down to a calcium chloride solution that will form a bead, and that bead is having a covering which is calcium alginate. This is somatic embryo. Somatic embryo can be easily grown in the laboratory by small treatments. Their calcium alginate layer can be easily removed, and then they can be grown in the laboratory. Further, they can be transplanted to the field. You know, in the embryo rescue, when we produce hybrids, they do not form proper embryo. So matured embryo we are not getting due to several reasons. We don't know the reason behind it. Maybe the difference in their genetic material leads to the premature death of embryos. Due to abnormal development of endosperm, this baby plant dies before it is getting matured. We excise this out. We take it out. And this baby plant will be grown in the laboratory. And they will be grown as new individual or new plants in the laboratory using plant tissue culture. This is known as embryo rescue. Somatic hybrids or hybrids. These are generated by using protoplast fusion. The difference between hybrid and hybrid is two somatic cells which are having nucleus, whereas a hybrid is formed by fusing one cell with a nucleus and another cell enucleated. So both are somatic cells. Now we call this as hybrid. You know, sometimes somatic cell hybridization is also known as parasexual hybridization, another term for somatic cell hybridization. Here it has been seen that between genus and between species we can have somatic cell hybrids. This is very interesting. Organelle transfer or organelle uptake. That means a cell to which we are introducing organelle of others. This can also be done by using plant tissue culture. These are also cytoplasmic hybrids. Okay, that means useful or beneficial cytoplasmic traits can be induced to a cell by organelle uptake or organelle transfer. In the field of interspecific and intergeneric cross, we'll discuss two examples. First example is interspecific hybrid is generated by Carlson and his team in the year 1972. This is Nicotiana tobacco, Glauca and Nicotiana langsdorffii, the first interspecific hybrid. It's a tobacco plant, Nicotiana glauca and Nicotiana langsdorffii. First intergenetic between two genus. It is pomato या tomato. Tomato या pomato. They are potato plus tomato. You can see some tomatoes here and tomatoes here. Here the hybrid is made between Solanum tuberosum is potato and Lycopersicon esculentum is tomato. This is first intergenetic cross. Melcher and his team in the year 1978 developed tomato या tomato. Haploids and triploids. You know, generally the plant is diploid in nature. But if I take pollen, if I take ovum, they are haploid in nature. They have single N, whereas diploid is two sets of chromosomes. If we go for pollen culture or anther culture, we can generate haploid. If a recessive gene is advantageous and if I need to get recessive genes expression, we can generate haploids and use them. Problem is generally these haploids are seedless plants. Okay, and these haploids can be again by some chemical treatment we can make them diploids. That can also be done. Okay, but triploids, if I go for triploids, they are high yielding variety. If I take a, generally in plants they are having endosperm in 3N format. If I take endosperm cells and through plant tissue culture, if I generate plantlets, then they will be triploids. Triploids are generally high yielding varieties. If we start from anther or if we take pollen, then generate embryo from that, or if I'm going for callus and generating plants from that, these plants are generally haploids. You see, by colchicine treatment we can make double haploid. Haploids are doubled to produce a plant with two sets of chromosomes. We can easily study the recessive characters by using haploid.